From Software has done it again. With their newly released Elden Ring, fans have been soaking up every drop of content from this soul-crushingly challenging, yet highly acclaimed game. In a similar fashion to their previous games, Elden Ring is an action, role-playing game with extraordinarily hard enemies and plenty of areas to explore. Let's dive into many of these secret locations, Easter eggs, and other huntable items in the game. First, let's talk about the humongous map. Elden Ring did not disappoint fans who yearn for exploration, as the game's entire map is the biggest in the franchise as of yet. There is content worth a dozen hours packed into the lands between, with at least half a dozen different regions. What is more surprising is that each region is as big as 3 to 4 areas of previous From Software games. They definitely went all out this time. You start off in an early game area known as Limgrave and Liurnia of the Lakes, which provide a typical open-world environment with trees, lush green grass, and animals. However, the game's true dark colors begin to appear as you venture out further into the ashy lands of Khalid and the vast Atlas Plateau. Not only that, but there are also many islands which can be visited through mystical gates found dotted around the world. And we haven't even mentioned the vast underground areas in which one could easily get lost. In short, this world is massive. With all of this content, one could look to easily spend upwards of 60+ hours trying to explore the map. Next, getting around the map. The humongous map is certainly a new addition to the Souls franchise, but how does one get around it all? Well, From Software has another surprise for gamers, as they have added a magical horse that will accompany you throughout most of the game. The trusty steed's name is Torrent. You get to unlock him after progressing in the game and meeting a character named Melina. Although you can choose to reject and not use Torrent throughout the game, you will end up missing out on many things and valuable mechanics. One such mechanic is the Spirit Springs. These gushes of air spread throughout the map allow Torrent to get a massive boost upward into the air, allowing it to gallop across the sky and land gracefully without taking any sort of fall damage. This becomes extremely useful while climbing through the mountainous regions or reaching hidden areas. Furthermore, as you explore the map, you run into sites known as Sites of Grace, allowing the player to rest and regain their health. Not only that, but these sites serve as points which you can fast travel to. So, suppose you have unlocked multiple Sites of Grace and are already present at one. In that case, you can access the fast travel to any of the other ones, skipping the gruesome journey in between. Quite a handy feature. Now that you're aware of the sheer size of this map that you're about to explore and how you can get around quickly, let's discuss some of the locations and areas which the players can explore. First, we have sacred churches. Throughout the map of Elden Ring, players could come across worn out and completely ruined churches. There are almost 4 to 5 churches in each region with statues of considerable size inside. Virtually every church. Inside the church, you can find a site of grace to rest at. But more importantly, at the base of each statue, there's a chance that you may find a rare item known as sacred tears. These tears help increase the potency of one of your tools called sacred flasks. The flasks help regenerate health amid battle, making them a handy item. The only problem is that they have limited uses, so the higher the potency, the better the value of the flasks. Therefore, if players want to succeed and break free from the endless dying, they should consider hunting down the churches and the sacred tears inside. Next, fogged areas. Elden Ring cleverly hides many areas behind fogged walls. These walls can be found in various locations in the game, notably in the Round Table Hold and Stormvale Castle. Guarding each of these walls is a stone imp statue with an imp seal on it. The player must break this seal for the wall to be dissipated, allowing access. However, breaking the seal is not quite simple, as it requires you to hunt for specific items throughout the game. These items are known as stone sword keys. You can begin your game by starting off with a stone sword key as your keepsake, or you can buy these swords from merchants. Alternatively, you can also find these keys just lying on the ground through the lands between. Once you have an ample number of keys, make your way over to the imp statues. The number of emitting lights off the statue's head will indicate how many keys are required to break the seal. These keys are one-time use only. If you want to break other seals, you will unfortunately have to hunt for more keys. But finally, once you make your way inside, you will either be granted a loot chest or yet another horrific boss battle, giving rewards upon its defeat. Regardless of what you find, the areas are worth exploring and add plenty of content to the game. Next, we have the Moonlight Greatsword. Throughout From Software's games, there have been many iconic weapons, but one weapon has appeared to stand out among them all, as somehow it has managed to slip into every game except their previous one, Sekiro. This is the weapon known as the Moonlight Greatsword. To fans surprised the very same weapon has made yet another appearance in the Elden Ring. Well, sort of. The Moonlight Greatsword is known to have a frosted glow engulfing the blade as one swings it around. Although there is no exact weapon called Moonlight Greatsword in the Elden Ring, there is a weapon that highly resembles it. This is the Dark Moon Greatsword, but it lacks the iconic glow in its base form. So what does that mean? It's not the same sword? Well, no, because the blade comes with its skill called Moonlight Greatsword, which covers the sword in light, increases magic attack power, adds a frost element buff, and emits a blade beam with each charged strike. This definitely makes it precisely the Moonlight Greatsword. The only thing lacking is the name. If you are looking to unlock this blade, you need to complete the Ranni questline. You will be led on long tasks around the map, ending with an extraordinarily hard optional boss awarding you with Ranni's prized ring. You can exchange this ring for the blade, and considering that the sword is one of the strongest in the game, it is worth all the hassle. Next, Trusty Patches. Contrary to his name, Trusty Patches is the last NPC you'd want to trust in a Souls game. This backstabbing trickster has appeared through many of the Soulsborne titles, such as Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and even Bloodborne. In all of the previous titles, he has attempted to steal everything off the player by tricking them in unique ways. But the tables have turned this time around in Elden Ring, where it is the player that actually is attempting to steal his loot when Patches appears for the first time. Deep in the Murkwater Cave, players can make their way inside and see a camp with what seems to be an unguarded treasure. However, once you make your way over to it and try to take the loot from the treasure chest, Patches makes his entry and initiates a short-lived fight. Upon damaging Patches with 4 to 5 strikes, he surrenders, leaving the players with two choices: to spare him or kill him. Quite the moral dilemma, right? Now, if you're already enraged by the many boss fights that may have crushed you up to this point, your first intention would be to let the greedy scoundrel die. But we urge you to hold your horses and hear him out. If you spare Patches and give him the time to set up shop, he will be able to trade valuable items with you. These items also include stone sword keys that we discussed earlier to access the fogged walls. Not only that, but Patches also makes an appearance later in a quest line, which may be the true ending to Patches' storyline. Lastly, the Game of Thrones sword, Grafted Blade Greatsword. George R.R. Martin, the author of A Song of Ice and Fire, which later became Game of Thrones, has been associated with Elden Ring. He has a significant role in the narrative, as he was in charge of the game's backstory. With that piece of information, fans were looking forward to getting some sort of Game of Thrones references, and From Software managed to deliver. The game has a sword known as the Grafted Blade Greatsword, which is not just big, it is colossal. The sword appears to have been crafted by combining a bunch of more miniature swords into one giant weapon. This is an apparent reference to the Game of Thrones' iconic Iron Throne, which also is melded together by the other blades. Luckily for eager fans, the weapon can be acquired quite early on in the game. Make your way over to the Weeping Peninsula, where you must face the boss, Leonin Misbegotten. The boss awaits you in the Castle Morn dungeon, and if you're looking to pursue him, we wish you the best of luck. That's a wrap for this video. What are your favorite Easter eggs of Elden Ring? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.